200 away for the grav harness.
Okay. So you've got one all set to go for your assault suit. I'm
Yep.
actually gonna. I've actually finished my first beverage while I was just kind of chilling here, so I'm gonna grab another one quick. I'll be right back.
Sounds good. Yeah, Mang, we were saying otherwise we'd play a board game if we didn't know Thomas was gonna make it at all.
Well, he's got to really monitor this door situation.
Yep. Oh yeah. Well, it's likely he couldn't put it. I mean, I've installed a door. If I know what he's talking about, it's hard to do by yourself. Like, it's nice to have another person kind of holding it and leveling it while you're doing. I mean, I don't know how much of a detail if he's like putting in everything or if it's just the door itself. So, but if his dad's coming over, it's probably something pretty out there. But I assume it's more a father saying, "Hey, I'm gonna be later than I thought."
Yeah.
You guys have a good Memorial Day?
I suppose so.
Yeah, I guess I did very much. It was my wife and I's anniversary as well. So
Congratulations.
yeah, 10 years of marriage. Mang roasted me pretty good at my marriage reception, also known as a wedding reception.
Well, I wrote the rose.
Yep, his brother roasted me pretty good using Mang's words.
Back in the building. Mert, you purchased your assault suit. It's installed. I
Yep.
think that's the only thing we need to update on the inventory side. I think with that, Tastus will be ready to lead you guys back to the Colota system. Unless you have any other business on Says, you got your high priority mission here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then, let's see. Okay. Well, I appreciate the work done and your investment in the in Old Faithful here. Tess just kind of pats the control panel, and he says, "Hopefully, it won't even be necessary." But again, I think with a danger level at this high of a threshold, any advantage we can take will be paying dividends before we know it. And just to make sure here, you guys purchased a burst ECM generator for the ship. Does that sound right, Mert? Or did you buy something else?
I think so.
Because that was 250,000. It negates one successful hit when activated.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you can choose it can be after dice rolled that you can choose to negate it. So like the hit happens, you roll all the dice and you go, "Oh my gosh, that's a huge one. I'm negating that.
Yeah,
I'm turning on the."
Okay. And I think, well, I'd say Tacitus would have the ability to trigger that himself, or your engineer.
Phil.
No.
Oh yeah. No, he's just drooling most of the time.
Gulk? Is Gulk the engineer?
No,
No.
that's usually Magnus.
Magnus is
Oh,
our
okay.
engineer.
Yeah,
He's in autopilot.
he is. So he's also an NPC right now. Um, okay. The planet comes into view. Tacitus is going to make his bearing for a pretty direct approach to the polar region, as per
Um,
Ogum's. Oh, okay, unless advised otherwise.
somewhat direct.
You'll have to explain yourself a bit, but I'm all ears, Roland.
Um, try to keep us at least, say, 600 to 900 kilometers away from the actual pole.
I'll fly casually.
If one can do that through a warp rift, I suppose.
He just really wanted to quote Han Solo, or
You
whoever
mean
that is.
Ziggy wanted to quote Han Solo.
Well, I am Tacitus, so.
Oh!
Mind blown!
Yeah. I'm usurped DM for Mert.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Tacitus is gonna try and keep a low profile, but he's fighting against his own anxiety to just get the mission over with. We'll see how much of a smooth operator he is. Oh, jeez.
Damn smooth.
Okay.
Smooth as
He
can
says,
We bought him that negate thing, and he was like, "I'm feeling lucky."
dude, that is just a thing of beauty right there. That's like enough to clear like the highest threshold that you're ever supposed to ask of any difficulty check. It's beautiful. All right.
Perfect.
Yep. He says, well, with Anton aboard and with the memory of our last trip here, yeah, I'm able to keep her steady, and it looks like, tell you what, you see Tacitus actually pilots through some of the larger, like, warp clouds, and it's a little bit distressing, but he manages to do so without damaging the ship, and as you guys are descending into the lower atmosphere, he says, I bet that helped mask our entry. Now, I'm not sure if I can guarantee no contact on our way out of here, but I think I've got us in for a smooth approach without drawing any attention.
Well, we're
And
not
he-
leaving till the Navy's done.
Oh, well, yes, that's excellent point. And he continues the descent. Okay. Now that he's actually like getting to cloud level and things are going pretty smoothly, he is going to make the bearing for the coordinates, but he will follow your instructions for exactly how far away from the facility once it's spotted you want him to basically put the ship into a resting pattern. And any further instructions, please just be as specific as possible. I'd like to be
Well-
of aid if I can.
Have we spotted it?
You have not spotted it yet. It is
Okay.
he's trying to basically balance two things. The lower he descends, the better visibility he'll get, but then of course becomes a little bit more easy to spot from, any people on the surface.
Well, it's a
But
big
yeah, there's
planet.
a lot of blowing kind of snow and things like that make it a little bit harder to spot things from a distance than in the more temperate regions of the planet. However, all of you are, I'm going to assume, at the bridge, kind of sharing the cockpit view with Tacitus. So anyone present is allowed to roll for a notice to see if they notice anything beyond just what could be seen by all. So let's get a round from everybody. Roland's putting on his love goggles. Not going to look at. Yep. Okay, pretty nice from Anton and Mert. Tacitus continues flying around for a few more minutes.
Well, wait a minute.
And
There's a snowstorm?
There's like basically, you can't tell if it's like precipitating, but there's like snow being blown around.
Well, then let's just set down until it calms down.
Okay.
We're not gonna fly in blind.
I don't object to that one bit. And Tacitus just begins the rest of his landing protocol. And he touches down. Hopefully I don't roll a 1. Okay, all right. He thinks from the initial readings that you guys are on a large, thick sheet of ice, and it should be quite stable. So seems as good a place as any for a little bit of a stakeout, at least until conditions improve. Is there an amount of time you'd be willing to wait for the conditions to improve, or are you going to set a hard limit?
Couple weeks.
Okay. Okay. About 2 hours later, there's a definite clearing in the system that's moving through. Winds are a lot calmer, and Tacitus says, I'll be able to take off like normal under these conditions. Then he gets the ship back into the air.
How far are we from the actual pole?
Right now, you are 26 kilometers from the pole.
What the? Why are we so close? I said 600. Damn it, Tacitus.
He says, sorry, it's, sometimes the readings come in a little scrambled, and he smacks his terminal. He says, I don't know if the facility itself is at the exact location of the pole, but you're right. I screwed up. But since you guys did well on your second luck D20, I'll let you retain your spot rolls from earlier as he gets it off, and you can indeed see about, from your altitude, probably about 8 minutes from the speed that Tacitus has been flying, a good 150 kilometers or so away. There seems to be a little cluster of certainly not natural forming structures, so some sort of civilization or compound.
Do we have, like, binoculars? Oh, I do have binoculars.
Okay, good. Let me see what I can tell you with the binocular view. All right. Tacitus holds the ship steady for you. You can definitely make out a complex with a walled perimeter. You note 8 guard towers surrounding, or like integrated into the wall surrounding the facility. You don't see any mounted turrets on the towers, and you can actually at one point see like a little bit of movement towards on the nearest one, like at the pinnacle. So it looks like there might actually be like men patrolling like at the tops, probably heavily bundled up. There's about 4 or 5 larger structures within the compound itself, and in particular, within this area, kind of off to the left from where your perspective is, you see by far the brightest objects through your binocular lenses. They basically look like 3 large spires with oscillating electric energy at the top of them.
Okay. And they're out in the open.
They're within the perimeter of the facility, so like they're within like the little
The walls, yeah.
yes, but they are freestanding structures. They're not like housed within larger ones. So
How far apart are they?
let's see. Give me a work roll.
Great.
Work it, man.
Yep.
With what attribute.
Intelligence or wisdom. Okay. Yeah, you're able to kind of think about the distance that you're viewing these from, and you could say that they're probably about 100 yards separated, forming like a triangular shape.
Okay.
So 100 yards to any of the nearest like supporting pylons.
Are they just sheer, or do they have like walkways on them, or?
So they don't have walkways connecting them, like connecting the individual structures to each other, but you can see that there is like some supporting like scaffolding, like
Okay.
for someone to go up to do like service or maintenance on them. And they are, you can also observe they are like kind of rhythmically kind of pulsating and like discharging like this energy they're generating up into the sky, like on like even intervals.
All right, gentlemen. If I don't come back, then feel free to go in guns blazing and all that.
Sure about this?
The Emperor protects.
All right.
Tacitus says, shall I leave the cargo ramp open for you?
No, I'll just go from here.
You got
Okay.
it.
So, I'm gonna take 21 demo charges and get them all
Okay.
primed for a remote detonation.
All right. In your hands.
No, I'm not holding them.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna give you a limit how much you could hold in each hand.
No,
of
I
your
don't need to
soldier.
hold them.
Okay, so you're just gonna prime them, and then where are they gonna be?
Just around me,
Okay, that takes you about
within a couple
10
meters.
Okay, it takes you about 8 minutes to get them all set to blow.
All right. Then,
Tacitus is watching you with visible sweat coming down his forehead
Well,
with
he's
all these
sweating.
explosives primed on his ship.
yeah. All right. This is where it gets dangerous. I'm activating Rift Reduplication,
Okay.
which allows me to teleport as an on-turn action multiple times per turn. And I can
All
also
right.
teleport in and teleport away without anyone being able to react to it. But
Okay.
it's an effort spent, so I'm going to roll for the...
Yeah, just to trigger this mode, it creates an anomaly.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
All right, we're good there. So the ship will be safe either way.
Okay. Yeah, if you got an anomaly that was like any sort of like ignite or like quake
Yeah.
effect, that would have
Yeah.
probably been an instant TPK. But,
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
That's
The
good.
plan is to teleport to one, bringing along all the demo charges. Then teleport to the next, leaving behind 7. Teleport to the next, leaving behind 7. And then teleport back, leaving behind the last 7. And then detonating.
Okay. I've got a couple of follow-up questions. I
Mhm.
understand what you want to do. And I
Yeah.
understand that you can now very rapidly
Yeah, this should take
teleport.
like one turn.
Okay. Now, for bringing these explosives with you,
Yeah.
that's the key. Because, like, if you can just teleport yourself and, like, things in, like...
I can carry
like,
up to 200 kilos per skill level when I teleport with me. So, total of 600 kilos.
Okay, so it's definitely not an issue of how much you can lift.
Yeah.
We've agreed on that. It's being able to like divide them appropriately when you're in these rapid teleportations. You understand what I'm saying? How like, unless you have like 3 containers filled with the 7. I don't know how you'd be able to do that in like 1 round's time, even with your instant movement between the pylons.
Okay.
'Cause,
Then
like,
we'll
that would
separate
require-
it into
yeah.
3 containers.
Okay. Do you have any?
I'm hoping that a rogue trader has some boxes. Otherwise, he's fired.
Cardboard box.
Yeah, I mean anything really.
Yeah. All right.
Some Tupperware. You know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or I could just duct tape them together, I guess.
All right. He's got crates of various sizes
Okay.
that will be able to accommodate 7 each.
Good.
I mean, Tacitus
yeah.
definitely has been drinking lots of milk and has milk crates everywhere, right?
Okay.
Milk is heretical. And no, I'm just kidding.
It's like-
Blue milk, green
Yeah,
milk
blue.
is heretical.
There you
Blue
go.
or green milk.
Okay. So he brings you some crates. He says, okay, we can get these loaded up. It's still gonna be awkward for you to like hold 3 crates.
I don't
so
have to hold
just
them. I just have to touch them.
So if your like hand is against them, they come
Hand,
with you.
leg, nose, anything that I'm touching.
Okay.
You shall lay with the crates.
He says, now, I could put the lid on the crates so that they don't like fall out as like you're teleporting. I don't think it'll mute the explosive damage too much, but I'll leave that up to you whether you want the lids on.
Even if they fall, this is going to be so quick it won't even matter.
All right, so you're confident that they won't separate themselves enough by falling to yeah, I suppose that makes sense. Tacitus doesn't question it. So, okay. He carefully kind of helps get them split up. They're all still primed to go. You've got the staging area on the ship cleared so that you have crates ready. And he says, so you just require line of sight?
That's right.
Okay. Well, from the cockpit, you can still see, it's a little bit distant, but the pulsating lights of the obelisk help kind of provide a frame of reference as you kind of stare off into the distance from this altitude. So he says, I think I got you set up here, friend.
All right.
Now, when you do all of the teleporting,
Yeah.
does that I believe would still at least trigger one anomaly,
Each teleport is
guaranteed.
going to be
Yeah.
a roll. Yeah.
Okay. Nope. Then I think, even though this is still borderline, like, holy shit, I think you've done a good job explaining your rationale, and I don't think you're bending what your character would conceivably do with his progression. So I'm very curious to see how this goes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we're not waiting for explosions. We're waiting for you to be back here.
Correct.
Yeah.
As soon
And
as I
if you
get back,
don't
I'm
come
pressing the
back-
button. If I don't
don't
come
come
back,
back,
yeah.
And we get out and go and hope.
If
see
something
how everything
happens to me, I'll desperately try and hit that button anyways to give you some
Yeah.
assistance.
Okay. And then Tacitus says, and just to be sure, if we see those pylons going up in the explosion, we're going to be heading straight for the upper atmosphere then to get the Navy in between us and everybody else on this planet.
Well, ideally, you should be able to just wait it out in the on this ice plate. They're not doing
Yeah.
bombardment; they're launching forces. So
That's true. I think, from what I recall of Ovum's communique, they're just going to be targeting the concentrated areas with the known military of the planet. And
let
that
the
should draw
guard and the
feather.
space marines come in, and we've done our job by that point.
Tacitus says, and here I was just ready to get us back into space, but no, you've thought this through better than I. I'll continue to follow your lead. And he just rests his hand at his counsel, eagerly awaiting. Okay.
Let's do it.
All right, and I'm going to give you a little bit more detail here, Mang, because you have actually looked at the facility. So this grid, or the big, nice, colorful, like second grade drawing on Roll20, that is basically an outline of the facility. So you can see it's got its little perimeter wall. It's got like the little gap where like the main gate is to access the facility. There's the orange cubes are all those little guard towers that you saw from a distance. The obelisks that appear to be generating and spewing the warp energy up into the sky are those purple cubes.
Yep.
And the only thing I just want to make sure, it's like I drew this picture like the day after our last session. I just want to check one thing. Okay. Yeah, and then like there's some larger structures in there. The central building is definitely like a command center of some kind, and that actually does have some mounted turrets on the very top, represented by that red box. But again, with the speed that you're moving,
Yeah, if they could notice me and hit me, then we were fucked from the start.
They would have to be doing some modern warfare, like pre-firing right at
exactly.
the obelisk. Yeah, okay, all right. Yep, you should be all set to go then.
All right, first teleport. Perfect.
All right.
Good start.
Can you ping which one you want to go to first? Okay, that seems very reasonable. You appear. Was it your intention to actually like try and land on the
the scaffolding?
Okay, then, I mean, with a 20, you're there with perfect precision.
Okay.
The boxes with the explosives aren't even wobbling in the slightest. They actually just land nice and evenly right with you. And it's a simple matter for you to remain contact with 2 while you leave the 1 behind.
That was the longest jump, so that's good.
Yep.
Second one. Fuck. Here we go.
Keep pinging the ones you're going to. Okay.
Okay. Winds whip up around the Psyker for a few moments, blowing light objects around and guttering fires within 3d10 meters.
Guttering fire? Oh, like putting out fires?
Putting out fires, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay. You land on the scaffolding. Although, like, one of the crates actually is starting to fall, like it was like on like the side of the air next to you, and then the wind kicks up as well.
Okay, so can I get a finger on that and then jump that one to the next one?
So you want to?
I want to teleport the falling one.
Okay. You're gonna have to kind of like jump after it physically yourself, unless you want to teleport to it.
No, that would be bad.
Okay.
I'll fall a little bit.
Okay, give me an exert. Very good.
All right.
You're able to get a hand on it before you or the crate hits like the ground.
Okay. Third teleport.
Okay.
Nice. All right.
Is that like right at the threshold where it doesn't cause anything?
10 is the threshold.
Oh, okay. All right. You've got that set to go.
Okay. Final teleport. I'm not going to go on the ship. I'm going to go like 100 feet off of it. Just in case, like, I explode.
Okay. Okay, yeah.
All right, fourth teleport. Here we go.
Yeah, that's going to be something.
Yep, Perils of the Warp, so this is a really bad shit. I have to roll again.
Okay.
My dying act will be pressing that fucking button. Psychic's powers turn back on him. Resolve the power's effect, but the power targets the Psyker instead. If the power is beneficial, it deals 1d10 plus 5 energy damage, ignoring armor.
Okay, you'll get a little bit of dump shock. That's not too bad.
That's good.
I get to roll the damage, though.
You could probably bump it up, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'll make it for spice, right? For spice.
Yeah.
Alright. I'll I think since you guys have progressed reasonably, I'll make it 2d10 plus 8.
Okay. It's possible it could kill me, but oh,
No.
very close.
Okay.
And I'll
You feel just the toll of what you just did.
chaos is fighting against me.
Right, like, and you keep using like the warp to like kind of pass
Yeah.
through like matter, and it's like it takes a big kind of tear on your own molecules, but you manage to keep your body from just like disintegrating as you kind of
Ovum would not
recompose.
approve of how I accomplished this mission,
No,
so
but
we're
that's
not
going
going
to
to
be
tell him.
classified, highly
Yeah,
classified
very.
information. Okay.
I pressed the button.
All right. In the conditions, there is a charge failure, but it's not a d20. It's a lower chance of failure.
Okay.
It does not fail.
Nice.
You can all see from your view a cascade of like popcorning explosions from all the demo charges, and this causes a considerably larger and unusual wave of like violet red energy to kind of pulse out of the station from where the obelisks were destroyed. And for a moment, Roland, you see all of the systems on your assault suit go offline.
Okay.
And Tacitus, who is kind of maintaining his position, says, I gotta get the systems back online. We're free falling, boys. Can someone get to the engineering and reset the power? We've got about 8 seconds.
Magnus.
You guys are all going to explode, and I'm just going to be left here.
You just watch the smoldering ruin. The sole survivor. Okay, so yeah, basically we need somebody to get to the ship's power source.
I send Magnus over there.
Send the NPC. Okay.
Yep, I have his character sheet. I can roll for.
All right. Well, he probably is the best suited for knowing which switch to flip and reset. Here's the question I ask of you, Mert. Since you designated he go there, I'm gonna have you act on his behalf, and you have his character sheet. Do you want to prioritize getting to the switch as fast as possible, or getting there steadily? It's basically gonna put more emphasis on one of two roles here, but I won't go into further detail. I'm just thinking about, so like basically sprinting towards where it is, or kind of like spotting it and trying to just move there carefully without losing your balance. Those are kind of your two options.
Spotting and moving carefully. And
right, it's like, there's a small chance he'd risk just not even making it in time, or it's or the catastrophe of him as the ship's falling, for him just like falling over and slamming into some other part of the ship and just having no chance at all getting to it.
Yep.
It's not an easy decision, but it's been entrusted to you since Thomas.
I will go the more conservative route.
Okay. Yep. Then I need a work skill from him, and I need it modified by his intelligence or his dexterity, and the DC is 6.
Hold on.
Okay. All right. Does he have work?
No, he does not. He has a
No.
-1.
Okay, so it's weird. I can't even. Oh, here it is. Oh, so he rolled an 8, but he's got a +2 dex.
You're right. He has a -1,
Yeah.
but he has +2 dex. So
Yep. Nope. That makes sense.
He rolled a 6 in there, which helped a lot.
Okay. Yep. Nope. He made it to the power switch on time. The ship's systems reset. Tacitus sees that we're about 4 seconds from impacting, but he can basically just give all power to the liftoff thrusters in an attempt to basically either prevent impact or lessen it. So he gets to roll his pilot here in a very quick little test. Okay. Well, the ship hits the ice. It takes 4 damage, but none of its main systems are damaged, and you guys are all fine in your assault suits aboard the ship. So, prevented catastrophe from the jaws of victory. um, you can all immediately notice a change in the sky above you. This warp storm that had been circling the planet has dissipated, and well, provided Ovum was not intercepted or otherwise delayed, the Imperial Navy should be on the heels of this, as that was what they were waiting for. So, Roland gave the tactic that you guys are just going to hold position until they've concluded their business. I know he's temporarily AFK, but does that sound like a good plan to Anton and Murd as well?
I'm not opposed.
Nope.
Me neither.
Okay. Then I basically just got one more luck roll here. Okay. And I'm just gonna wait for Mang to get back, and then I'll tell you what the results of this course of action.
I am back. What happened?
Okay. Well, between Magnus rushing to the power switch
Yep.
and Tacitus basically just turning on the liftoff thrusters to prevent the impact from being bad, the ship only took 4 damage and just kind of landed in the ice. None of its
Nice.
critical systems were damaged. And the group is in full agreement with your tactic of just now waiting for the Imperial Navy to come and do its work, since basically that's what they were waiting for, was for the warp storm to be dissipated, which
Then
you
I
can
will-
do. You've done so.
I will rush over to the ship.
Okay. You see your teleporting bomber step aboard, and yeah, it should be only a matter of time before the Imperial Navy comes in and takes care of business.
Mert, heal me.
Let me switch character sheets.
This what he says? I blast him.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Okay. Let me. Well, I doubt. What's your What's your actual HP at?
3.
Okay, because I was gonna say I doubt you care how much system shock you take, because I can give you a couple of them.
Load me up.
He's gonna
Just
give
in
you some
case.
dump shock.
I give you the good stuff, which is pre-tech cosmetic. That's straight real HP. You just get like straight up. I'll give you 3 of those.
Okay,
Okay.
that's some nice emergency medical support you do.
There you go. 17
Ooh.
HPs.
Very nice.
Yep.
Hopefully I won't need it.
Those are like the more expensive stuff. So, and I have taken them out of my inventory.
Okay.
But technically, they do system shock 1 each to you if you.
That's fine.
Yeah. In the ensuing hours, the Imperial forces do indeed begin their coordinated assault on the strategic sites of the planet. Tacitus refrains from drawing too near to the station. However, like 3 ATVs are dispatched, like probably some like personnel escaping the station. And Tacitus just waited back until they had gotten like far enough away from the auto turrets at the base, and then he went after them and killed them with the ship's guns. So,
Wonderful.
about 2 days later, you receive this communique from Inquisitor Ovum.
That's the sort of message you want to receive.
Yep. So you guys were successful. Roland is going to get a nice promotion within the ranks of the Inquisition, and you get a nice boatload of experience and other material benefits
You're
waiting for you
welcome,
back on
guys.
save. Yep.
Nice.
Yep. No, that was a nice use of your like Nightcrawler style teleporting there. That was
Yeah.
Yep.
that was
Bam, bam,
cool.
bam.
Yep. And that's the thing where it's like, as a DM, I can design around anticipated stuff like that, or I just draw up a facility as I would imagine it for, the planet and its things. I'm like, nope, this is what they'd be content with. And a psychic could have been like a psychic defending the base could have made things more difficult, but you guys actually did encounter a psychic last session, but because of the blank's close proximity to him when you guys stepped off the loading ramp, you were able to dispatch him pretty easily.
And really, the
so,
only thing that would have
yeah.
stopped me is another blank.
You're right. If they
But
just had
they would
one,
never
like,
have
yeah.
a blank because those are
Mhm.
anathema to the chaos.
Yep. So, well done.
Yeah. All without Thomas even being here.
Yep. Yeah. And I rolled for him, so he didn't
Yep.
even have to. He could have been here to do one thing.
All right.
That is it. So pretty much, Thomas rolled one thing, and I healed you when you got back in case
Yeah.
it got.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, you come back like on the ground, like breathing terribly and just beat up
Oh,
by
yeah.
the warp, and I heal you, and that's it.
That's it.
Yep.
So we just wait it out.
Okay.
Well, very nice.
Yep. So this is a good milestone here because, for Roland at least, he's definitely going to be leaving the company of Tacitus and kind of operating more under his own initiative going forward. So that would be a decision for the rest of the crew whether, want to, thinking from your character's perspective. I mean, obviously I could see things progressing along those lines for a bit.
Yeah.
And you would be entering the upper tier of both the levels of Stars Without Number and for higher threats to deal with in
With
the
far
Warhammer
less
universe.
reward.
Yeah. So I think there's a good segue point where it's like I'm bookmarking where your characters are at and everything here, but from a campaign perspective, this will be just a nice conclusion or intermission to be resumed later. But at least for the immediate future, we're gonna put this system to rest for now. And starting in the upcoming weeks, I know Mert has been talking about. I think you said like it's probably a 1 to 2 shot thing.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
even if we don't play all the way through it, it's just I thought it would be an interesting thing
No,
to try.
With what?
I'm encouraged to have a break just as a player.
Well, technically, I wanted to try it because it's a thing I had bought a ways ago that just like a D&D type of thing, but you don't need a DM. I wanted to try it, but then on Roll20, I think that it works. It's made for in-person playing, which so if someone
Seems like a
wanted
lot
where
of
it was
sketch.
well, more because the no DM part, it needs to be like it's hard to a lot easier to just have a board and
What
like we
system
had
is
with
this?
miniatures. So I've already built most of it myself to play as like the DM for it if you guys wanted to run something together, like and neither of you having to run something. And obviously Realm's familiar with D&D, so
So this is D&D.
Okay. I've got a few things that are like in incubation, but again, I'm gonna enjoy and welcome like at least a 2-week break from DMing, whatever that translates to. So
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and I said we could always do board games instead as a break, you know.
I do a couple.
Yeah. So I mean, or 1 week. My thing is just kind of a one shot to just have
Yeah.
a type of thing and a board game the other week, that type of thing, you know.
Wonder if we could get in a game of Chinatown.
Tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, has Realm ever played it?
No, but we
I
can
guess
we can
it's not.
teach we can teach
Yeah,
him real quick.
I'm fine with it.
So, Mang, does that work pretty well on TTS from your net recollection?
Oh, and Thomas is here now.
Yeah.
Am I
Yes.
still live?
You won.
We won.
Yep.
You
That
can
was
see
just- we're not
you can see the
committed to
flurry of
Chinatown.
rolls that
Yeah.
occurred in the session.
Yes, but like I said, so my thing, if we do it, I mean, I'm building boards, pages, you know, everything, so it'll all be set up already. So once you guys do it,
Doing
I mean,
a
it'll
few
be
lighter
more-
games would be kind of fun too tonight. We could do like a no thanks
Mm-hmm.
and a skull, and pirates dice, things like that.
well,
would
those
be
are
fun.
easy. Those are easy enough to teach.
Yeah.
Realm, if he hasn't.
Yeah, would you be down for a few games, Realm? Get more mileage out of your purchase?
More than fine with that.
Okay, good. Then Thomas, we're transitioning to some tabletop.
Okay.
Yep.
And yeah, and so this campaign ended, Thomas,
It
with
did. Yes.
the victory here, because you're not. Oh, you're just loading in now, and Roland has been awarded obviously
throne
his
agent.
rosette. Yeah, so he's a throne agent, but he's been given a patrol boat class vessel. So he will no longer be under the rogue trader.
Yeah.
I see.
So this was a good bookmarking
Yeah.
for.
Was there like a big boss, or was it all?
Nope.
shit
Me,
big?
I was the big boss.
He was
There, there was one Chaos Space Marine in the command center, but he didn't have time to like put his pants on by the time that Roland was done teleporting around. So, yep.
So yeah, so then we were talking about I've been setting up like a, I don't know if it'll be a one shot or a two shot D&D type of thing I had bought that technically was no DM, but it's built for like people who maybe if you have 3 of you and it works better, but we actually have 4 or 5 of us, so you could do it with a DM. So, and roll 20 being easier to set all that up in beforehand. So
Me and Mang getting to both be players at the
That's
same
what I say.
time
It's a rare
so
thing.
rare that I always tend to have a blast with that.
well,
so, yeah.
and I have D&D Beyond, which I can give all of you access
Well,
to.
let me just add: is this a level 1 thing?
No, it's level 4.
Okay, then I'm on board, I guess.
Yeah, no. It's level 4. I own every class and race, like, and subclass.
Level 1 through 3 of 5th edition is just
Terrible. Yeah.
just
Like at that point, you may as well, if you do a level 1 5th edition campaign, I'm being completely serious here, like have
well-
you start in chains with nothing. Like
well, you
that
might
would
as well
be-
just do a funnel.
Yeah. Like right now, like that would be interesting. But like if you just kind of have like your little basic equipment package and
Yeah.
stuff, like yeah.
I mean, that's
right.
fine if it's like your first campaign.
Yeah.
but,
And there is
yeah.
a certain magic to that when you're like, you're just laughing for 20 minutes about jumping on a table and casting burning.
Oh yeah,
hands. It's
pretty much
amazing.
anything
Yeah,
is good when it's your first
yeah,
Well,
game.
Right. Yeah.
Isn't that how we kind of felt about 4E back in the day? That like 4th or 5th level was the good starting point. 'Cause
And
you had-
Ziggy
Yeah.
used to just he would start us at 5.
Yeah.
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 Well, because
Okay.
like 1
Are you
was
gonna
just
host me?
I am gonna end this stream
Oh, yeah.
signing off on this campaign, which was
bye.
very cool. I didn't think we'd
Slick.
ever get around to playing it in 40k, so it was pretty cool.
Yep.
Well, and I will say, even though I'm still not like super knowledgeable, I learned a lot about 40k.
You can learn
Through
even
this,
more by
like,
watching the
Exploring
exploring.
series.
Yeah.
Mm.